Hi everyone and welcome to Cloudy ML. Today we are going to analyze the dataset which is of student stress factors. This dataset contains around 20 features that create the most impact on the stress of a student. The features are selected scientifically considering five major factors. They are psychological, physiological, social, environmental, and academic factors. For psychological factors, we have columns like anxiety level, self-esteem, mental health history, depression, and for physiological factors, we have headache, blood pressure, sleep quality, and breathing problem. For environmental factors, we have noise levels, living conditions, safety, basic needs, and for academic factors, we have academic performance, study load, teacher-student relationship, future career concerns, and for social factors, we have social support, peer pressure, extracurricular activities, and bullying. We'll start with some descriptive statistics to get a general sense of the data. Then we will take a closer look at each of the five major factors that contribute to student stress. For each factors, we will ask some questions. For example, for psychological factors, we might ask how many students have a self-esteem level below the average. What percentage of students have reported experiencing depression? And for physiological factors, we might ask how many students experience headaches frequently, how many students rate their sleep quality as poor, and so on. In addition to these specific questions, we will also be looking for any general patterns or trends in the data. For example, we might ask which factor has the highest number of students reporting negative experience or conditions, which specific feature within each factor has the most significant impact on student stress. We'll also be doing some comparative analysis to see how the different factors relate to each other. For example, we might ask, is there a correlation between anxiety level and academic performance? Do students with poor sleep quality also report high level of depression? Are students who experience bullying more likely to have a history of mental health issues? So I'm excited to see what we can learn from this data, and I hope you will join me on this journey. So let's get started. So guys, first of all, we will load our dataset, which is stress level dataset. Click load. You can see we have successfully loaded our dataset. Now let's see how our data looks like. We have these columns in our dataset. First column is anxiety level, in which we have values ranging from 0 to 21. Higher level of anxiety is indicated by higher values. Second, we have self-esteem. Same higher value indicates higher self-esteem. Mental health history, we have two values. 0 means no mental health history. 1 means having mental health history. Then we have depression from 0 to 27. Higher value indicates higher level of depression. Headache. This column indicates frequency of headaches experienced by students. So 0 means no headaches, 5 means high headaches, more headaches experienced by students. Blood pressure, 1 means low blood pressure, 2 moderate, and 3 means high blood pressure. Then we have sleep quality. Sleep quality means 0 sleep quality, poor sleep quality, and 5 means good sleep quality. Then we have breathing problems, 0 to 5. 0 means no breathing problems, 5 means having high breathing problems. Then we have noise levels. Noise levels 0 to 5. 0 means zero noise levels. 5 means high noise levels. Then we have living conditions, in which we have five values 0 to 5. 0 means poor living condition and 5 means good living conditions. Safety. 0 means no safety. 5 means high safety. Then we have basic needs. 0 means no access to basic needs, and 5 means having access to basic needs. Then we have academic performance. 0 means poor academic performance, and 5 means good academic performance. Study load. 0 means no study load, 5 means high study loads. Then we have teacher student relationship. 0 means not good teacher student relationship, 5 means good student teacher relationship. Then we have future career concern. 0 means having no future career concern, 5 means having high level of future career concern. Then we have social support. 0 means no social support, and 3 means having good social support. Peer pressure means 0 means no peer pressure, 5 means high level of peer pressure. We have extracurricular activities. 0 means no involvement in extracurricular activities, and 5 means high involvement in extracurricular activities. Then we have bullying. Bullying means how frequently student experience bullying. 0 means no bullying, and 5 means experiencing high level of bullying. Stress levels. These are the level of stress. 0 means zero, zero stress, no stress. 1 means having some stress or moderate. 2 means high level of stress. So this was our data set. Now we will perform our tasks. So let's get started. So first question we have, how many students are in the data set? To answer this question, we will simply create a new measure, total students, count rows, and our table's name. Why we use count rows? Because each row consists of the information about each individual student. So if we count the rows, it will give us the total students count. So we can simply click here and choose card visual. We can also change the color of this visual by just clicking effects and choose the color of your choice. So this is our first task. Now we have next question. What is the average anxiety level of student in the dataset? So to answer this question, we will now again create a new measure and name this measure as average anxiety level. We'll use average function here, average, our dataset name, and our columns name, which is anxiety level. So it will give us average of anxiety level. So we can see this is our measure, and we will simply choose card visual. So the average anxiety level is 11.06. We can also copy paste the formatting of this visual, clicking on format printer and just click here. Now we have another question. How many students have a self-esteem level below the average? We'll again create a new measure. And type students with low self-esteem. We'll use formula count rows, filter, table name, comma, table name with or column name, which is self-esteem is less than average, average self-esteem. So our measure will be highlighted here. You can click here and choose card visual. And just click here. Now we have another question. What percentage of students have reported experiencing depression? So to answer this, we will again create new measure and type percentage percentage with depression is equal to, we will use divide rows, filter, stress level dataset, comma, stress level dataset, depression greater than 10. Count rows, dataset, 100. So this formula is doing filter based on this condition, stress depression, where depression is greater than 10, and then it is counting the rows where depression is greater than 10. So we have created our measure. You can click here and use card visual. So we have got 56.36 percentage of student with depression. We have spelling mistake here, so you can correct it. So now we have how many students experience headaches frequently. So to answer this, we will now again create a new measure. Type students with the frequent x is equal to count rows, filter, table name, stress level dataset, our column name headache greater than first 5. So we have created our measure. You can click here and choose a card visual. So we have 129 students with frequent headaches. Now we have another question. How many students rate their sleep quality as poor? So to answer this question, we will again create a new measure and type students with poor sleep quality and use count rows filter filter or dataset based on this condition stress level dataset where sleep quality is less than equal to 2. So we have created our measure. Click here and choose card visual. So we have got 550 students with poor sleep quality. Now we have another question. How many students live in condition with high noise levels? So to answer this, we will create a new measure again and type students in high noise conditions. Count rows, filter, table name, and our column name is noise level greater than equal to 2. Then click here and choose card visual. So 876 students are living in high noise conditions. Now, our next question is how many students have reported not having their basic needs met? So, to answer this, we will again create a new measure and type students with unmet basic needs. Rows, filter, stress level dataset as a with our column name, which is basic needs less than equal to 2. Can create card visual. So we have 448 students with unmet basic needs. Now we have our next question. How many students rate their academic performance as below average? So to answer this question, we will again create a new measure and type below average academic performance. We'll use count rows, filter, table name, or table name, and our column name is academic performance less than 3. So we can see our measure is highlighted here. You can click here and simply choose hard visual to visualize it. So 561 students are having academic performance below average. Now we have our next question. What is the average study load reported by students? So to answer this question, we'll again create a new measure and type average study load and use the formula average on dataset name and our column name, which is study load. So you can click here and choose card visual. So the average study load is 2.62. Now our next question is, what percentage of students have experienced bullying? We will again create a new measure. So we'll type percentage of bullying is equal to, we'll use divide on rows, filter, stress level dataset, our column name, which is bullying, greater than equal to 3. Count rows. So we have calculated percentage. You can click here and choose hard visuals. So we can see 50.82% of students are experiencing bullying. Next question we have, how many students participate in extracurricular activities? To answer this question, we will simply create a new measure again and type students participating in extracurricular activities. We'll use the same formula, count rows, filter, our table name, amount, table name with our column name, having values greater than equal to 2. So we can click here and choose hard visual. So this number of students are participating in extracurricular activities. Now we have comparative analysis. So first question is there a correlation between anxiety level and academic performance? So to analyze this, first we will create a new page and simply choose scatter chart. Now we will drop academic performance use and anxiety level to y-axis. Simply choose average from here and don't summarize and trend line. So we can see there is a negative relationship between anxiety and academic performance. You can see when there is academic performance 1, the average anxiety is 16.72. As the academic performance increase, the average anxiety decreases. When there is high academic performance, average anxiety level is minimum. So we can say there is negative relationship between average anxiety and academic performance. Now we have our next question. Do students with poor sleep quality also report higher level of depression? So we'll simply again create a scatter chart and drop sleep quality and depression. Now we'll use sleep quality and depression. Let's average from here and choose don't summarize from it. So we can see there is negative relationship between average depression and sleep quality as well. When the sleep quality is 2, average depression is 11.72. When the sleep quality increases to 4, the average depression decreases. It means there is negative relationship between these two variables. Now we have are students who experience bullying more likely to have a history of mental health issues? So to answer this, we'll simply create a column chart and drop mental health history. Where is mental history to x-axis and bullying to y-axis. So we can see when mental health history is 1, the bullying sum of bullying is highest. It means the students having mental health history are bullied much more than the students who are having no mental health history. So we have completed our comparative analysis part. Now we'll look general exploration part. So next question we have, which factor, psychological, physiological, environmental, academic, social, has the highest number of students reporting negative experience or conditions? So to answer this question, first we will add a new page. And to answer this question, we will have to create five new measures, including all the columns which belongs to these categories like psychological, physiological, environmental, academic, social. For psychological factors, we have the columns like anxiety levels, self-esteem, mental health history, and depression. So let's create our first measure, which is psychological negative experience. We'll use count rows, filter, our table name, comma, table name with our column name, which is anxiety level is greater than 10. Why we are using 10 here? Because we have uh, decided a certain threshold value. If the anxiety level is greater than 10, it means it is a negative experience. So now another column we have self-esteem less than 15, and still we hold it as mental health history is equal to 1, and depression depression greater than 50. So we have created our measure. You can click here and choose the card visual. Now we will create a new measure for a physiological factor. Physiological negative experience. Discount rows. Ter- What table name, comma. Our first column is headache for physiological factor greater than 3, and stress set. Next column we have blood pressure greater than 2, and next column we have sleep quality less than 3, and now we have breathing problem greater than 3. So we have created our new measure for physiological negative experience. You can click here and use card visual. Now we'll do the same for environmental. negative experience. Negative experience is equal to count rows meter column name, which is noise level greater than 3, and our next column is the living condition. Living conditions less than 3, and next column we have safety less than 2, and basic needs less than 3. So we have created for environmental negative experience. You can click here and choose card visual. Now we'll create new measure for our academic negative experience. Academic negative experience is equal to count rows filter dataset. First column is academic performance less than 3, and the next column is study load study load greater than 3, and teacher student relationship less than 3, and our last column for academic performance is academic factor is future career concerns less than 2. So we have created for academic factor as well. You can choose card visual. Now we will create for our social factor. Social negative experience is equal to count rows filter column name. The column name is social support. Social support less than 1, and next column we have peer pressure having value greater than 3, and next column we have extracurricular activities less than 3, And last column for this factor we have boolean, boolean greater than 2. So you can see we have successfully created the measure was social factor. We can click here and choose the card visual. Now we can visualize these numbers using pie chart. We simply click on pie chart and drop these measures into the pie chart. So we can visualize these and answer the question which we have, which factor has the highest number of students reporting negative experience or conditions. So let's see. First we will drop psychological negative experience, physiological, then we have environmental, then we have academic, lastly we have social negative experience. We can change the title also, negative experience by factors. So we can see psychological negative experience has the maximum part in this pie chart. So the answer for this question is which factors, psychological, physiological, environmental, academic, social, has the highest number of students reporting negative experience or conditions? So the answer is psychological negative experience. Now we have our last question, which is which specific feature within each factor has the most significant impact on student stress based on the dataset? So to answer this question, first we will add a new page and we will use Python script for this question. We will create a correlation heat map which will give the answer to this question. So to create the correlation heat map, we will simply click on Python Visual, enable. Now we will drop all the values in our table to this visual. So select all the numerical columns. So we have added all the columns of our data set. Now we will simply use the Python code here, import cbond as SNS. Cbond is a library which is used to visualize our data. Then we will import matplotlib, which is also used to visualize the data. Now we will use our code SNS dot heatmap our dataset. dot CORR, which will generate the correlation between all the columns. Comma CMap, which is used for the color of our visualization. Comma note is equal to true. It is used to show the numbers on our heat map. Lastly, we will use plt.show. Then we will click on this button. It's taking some time. We have error in our code. Matplotlib. It should be matplotlib. No, let's run the code again. So we have successfully generated our heat map. Now we can rename this as heat map. So we can see the darker colors show the strong correlation between the two variables. Like if we see the correlation between teacher-student relationship and academic performance, it is 0.67. Now we can see future career concern and anxiety level, which is 0.72. So our question was, which specific feature within each factor has the most significant impact on student stress based on the dataset? So we can see here for our psychological factor, we have anxiety level. So we'll check what is the correlation between anxiety level and stress. So this is anxiety level and this is stress level. So the correlation between anxiety level and stress level is 0.74. And self-esteem, and then we have self-esteem and stress level. You can see there is minus 0.76, which is a negative correlation. So you can find out the answer by yourself by observing these values. So we have completed our all the tasks. Now we will see summary and conclusion, what we did in this analysis.